Ba, 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 da, 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 da. Dun, 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 dun. Good evening, welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View this evening. Celtic back in action, new manager, new backroom staff, same old players. What difference can Martin O'Neill make tonight to Celtic FC, if any at all? Because let's face it, it's going to be an interesting one for Martin O'Neill. First time back at Celtic. Back at Celtic 20 years later. People were sending me the day a leaked lineup of the team. If only. I mean, I'd even take Didi Agat back. Could you imagine Didi Agat in this team? He would run rings round players, wouldn't he? But anyway, it is Celtic versus Falkirk tonight. It's all about the build-up, the team news. I'm going to leave any talk of managers out of the conversation. Let's concentrate on the game. Although McKenna, we've got time until the Celtic team is announced, haven't we? We've got around about 10 minutes maybe till the Celtic team's announced. McKenna said that he would be open to becoming the next Celtic manager on a permanent basis, according to reports down south, which is interesting, as has Nicky Hain. Celtic are obviously interested in the Belgians haven't been that good in Scottish football, but the Club Brugge boss has reportedly said that he could be interested. We'll wait and see. We'll wait and see what transpires. Celtic need to go all out, and it's if Celtic are sitting at a poker table, I'm not wanting any of this nonsense tonight or over the next week or so. That poker face. I don't want any of that at all. I want Celtic to just get all their chips and go all in. We see the manager we want, go for him. No pissing about Celtic. I think that the Celtic fan base would appreciate a bit of oomph from the powers that be at Celtic, and I think that it's what Celtic fans deserve. Rob Douglas straight into the starting lineup. Rob Douglas would be better than Kasper Schmeichel, just saying. And that's saying something. We are just waiting on the Celtic team being released. Should be in around about 10 minutes time. Not too sure how the weather's looking at Celtic Park tonight. A little bit. The lights are on. The lights are on at Celtic Park. It's giving nothing away. Martin O'Neill will be pictured from. You'll get the press guys going behind the goals, trying to get that angle to get the picture of Martin O'Neill with Celtic Football Club 1888 lit up in lights. What a night it's going to be for Martin O'Neill to be back in the dugout after such a long time. And you want to admit, Martin O'Neill's been critical of Celtic over the years. He stood on the touchline at Hampden after a game and almost begged Ange Postecoglou to not leave Celtic just a few years ago. And Ange had already made his mind up at that point. The rest to say is history. Nice to see that Celtic Park is trending on Twitter at the current moment. It's not too bad this night. It doesn't look as if it's going to rain tonight. A good night for football at Celtic. Pitch is looking good. Pitch is looking fantastic. And Celtic have put a picture up looking over to the main stand. And when you think about it, it's a must-win game. Taking everything aside from what's happened over the last, since Sunday, taken out of whatever Brendan Rodgers is going to come back with as a retaliation to Dermot Desmond. I've never seen Celtic... Big roll of thunder there. I've never seen Celtic fight things out in public, and I just hope that the ex-manager shows a bit of dignity. Kaiser's down at Celtic Park to see the protest. Good for him. Good for him. I'm sure he'll have it on his channel. Baz, are you going to throw your hat into the mix for the job? Nah, I'm not too conscious. Nah. Bold life's matter, mate. Bold life's matter. Guys that shave their head on a daily basis with the old Gillette. Do you know? Anyway, we move on. Roads, where we don't need roads. Roads. James Gunn reckons it'll be 3-0 tonight. We love the king. 3-0, that's a reasonable... I think that was the scoreline that Brendan Rodgers would be hoping for, but anyway. But yeah, back to who was it? It was Square Sausage Mick, wasn't it? Just remember, mate, bald guys do it better. In every means. Every way. Just remember that. Martin Keyes go for 4-0 tonight. Celtic must win tonight, nothing less, because I doubt St Mirren will take anything from their game against the Mini Huns. Just stay in Brazil, Brendan. Yeah, I think so. I think that a lot of people would be happy if he just stayed in Brazil. Winston Churchill cap looks idiot Prince Andrew on the eyebrows. What? You talking about, John? Settle for a 1-0 win tonight and no injuries to key players. Winston Wobblyguts is in the house. What the fuck? Am I missing something? Am I missing something in the chat? Must be. But anyway, let's jump back over to the land of the Twitterati to try and find out if Celtic have got anything out as yet. The team news will be out shortly. I reckon 5 minutes. It's usually an hour and 15 minutes to go before a game, which would take it to around about 5 minutes time. What's your thoughts for the game tonight? It'll be interesting to see the size of the crowd. Obviously the fans will be there already. Let's just let's even get some latest imagery from Celtic Park. Nope. Just Celtic. There's nothing on Twitter. There's a lot of nonsense being brought up. I mean, a lot of stuff from the past about Martin O'Neill. And we all know how Martin O'Neill left Celtic. I mean, I don't want to get into the negativity, but we all remember the fact that, listen, when it comes to it, Martin O'Neill wasn't happy the way that the Celtic board didn't back him and didn't want to move forward after Celtic got to Seville. That was the start of the downfall for... There's a picture. The National got one out. Some Celtic fans. No, that's not. That's outside Glasgow Hydro. Oh, there you go. There you go. Let's just get back onto Celtic. Yeah, I mean, we all know what happens with Martin O'Neill when he left Celtic the first time round. It's a bit weird saying that, but do you know, the board wouldn't back him then to take the team further forward, to get to repeat getting to a Europa Cup final, take that next step forward. The board have had previous for doing it since the Martin O'Neill days, so digging up stuff from what was said 20 years ago, I don't think is very helpful. And team news soon. I don't think it's very helpful, especially with the fan base that is on tender hooks at the moment. I mean, the fan base just now is we should just enjoy the happiness that's been brought in tonight. I'm hoping for a 3-5-2 tonight. Hope Martin managed to install a bit of pride back in this team. That's all we're hoping for. We would have went bankrupt underspending if Martin was here. I don't think we would have went bankrupt. I don't think we would have went bankrupt at all. You got to remember, you didn't get a lot of money for getting to the Europa League final. But I mean, we've got to look forward. Do you know? Stop looking back. Stop digging up stuff for the past. Stop talking about stuff for 20 years ago. Do you know what happened 20 years ago is irrelevant to how successful have we been over the last 20 years. I mean, that's the thing that we need to look forward to. I just do something. No need for that, mate. See you later. That's all right, Michelle. He's not going to get the right to reply because there's no need for chat like that. So he's just been given a 24-hour call out. So you can't comment for 24 hours. If you're going to be personal like that to people on the channel, it always ends in one way, and it's bye-bye. It's not a channel where you can get away with that kind of shit, I'm afraid. If you don't like it, there's other channels that are live, I'm sure. Martin O'Neill said it was family reasons at the time. Yes, Martin O'Neill's wife was ill at the time. And that was the reason that he left. He was going to leave a year earlier. You want Dane Murray to start tonight? We'll wait and see. I don't think that any of the... I mean, we could put up the team. I've got the team. Brendan Rodgers. This is weird saying that. Brendan Rodgers' last team. This was the team that Brendan Rodgers put out. This isn't the Celtic team. That's the team that Brendan Rodgers put out. As soon as the Celtic team is out in the next minute or so, we'll put it up. And I'll just put a comparison up. I'm keeping the Brendan Rodgers team there, so we could see really how much changes Martin O'Neill and Sean Maloney. And Lorna isn't a mod, by the way, for Ryan the Celt. But anyway, you'll not see him for the rest of the night. And on the comments, be nice. If you can't be nice, say fuck all. Team is out. Trusty starts. Ralston starts. Scale starts. Oh my God. Oh my God. Woofed. This is a team of changes. A massive team of changes tonight. This will... come on. There it's there. That's a massive team of changes tonight. We'll get the subs up in a minute. That's a crap picture. We'll get it on. Schmeichel, Ralston, Trusty, Scales, Scarachi, McGregor, Engels, Benji, Forrest, Tenexte, and Johnny Kenny. What are they thinking? What is Martin O'Neill thinking? It's a team of definite changes with that. You've got to admit, it's a very interesting team. That's a better picture. Why is Instagram always so much better than Instagram gives you much better quality media than Twitter. Let's get rid of that a second. We'll do this, and then we'll get the team back up with a much better quality. There we go. That's way better. Gives you the subs and everything. Let's get rid of the comments just for a couple of seconds. Sinisalo's on the bench. Balwishel's on the bench. Balwish's on the bench. McCown's on the bench. Osman's on the bench. Bernardo's on the bench. Wow, no Shin Yamada, but Callum Osman's on the bench. What the fuck are you doing, man? Bernardo's on the bench. Dyson Maeda's on the bench. Hatate's on the bench. Murray's on the bench. Donovan's on the bench. Right, let's put a comparison up to Brendan Rodgers' last team. Now, this is Brendan Rodgers' last team on this side. This side is Martin O'Neill's first team for Celtic. And you've got to say, is Kieran Tierney not fit? Kieran Tierney's been dropped altogether. Wow. Holy fuck. Dice Maeda makes it back. It's a very attack-minded team. I mean, you've only got Murray and Donovan as backup for defenders. Wow. There's one thing for sure. Martin O'Neill is going for a win-win-win. It's as simple as that. And you think he's rested for the weekend? It's not that much different. Kieran Tierney not in the team altogether. Marcelo Scarachi, he's not been near the team for a while. I don't think that Kieran Tierney was looking as if he was carrying any type of injury before the game or after the game. Sean Maloney's team and my one Celtic fans view. Do you think it's Sean Maloney's team? Anyway, let's get rid of Rodgers' old team and get this Celtic team up here where it will remain for the remainder of the evening. And there's going to be hopefully a little bit of an update when it comes to the system. That picture's not that great tonight. Why is that? Might need to change my top. But anyway, tell me what you think of the team. Kieran Tierney has been dropped. It looks the same type of lineup, a similar 4-3-3. Jesus. Trusty. Oh my God, I've got to get this picture up. As bad as this picture is, there is a funny side to it, but someone has done an AI of Martin O'Neill. And let's just hope that we don't find this funny at the end of the evening, this picture. I'll put it up just purely for the bants. But yeah, there's the Honda, giving them the keys to the Honda. It's not great, is it? Right, let's get some comments up and tell me what you think of that team this evening, because Martin and Sale and Talk Sport, the Scarachi Tenecti link up extremely well. Return a week or so ago. Yep. Andrew says the team looks good. God help us if he gets injured. Yeah. Let's see how they do. Yeah, let's see how they do tonight. I'd like to get a look at Osman in the second half. It's interesting why. I mean, it's totally Martin O'Neill, isn't it? There's one thing that Martin O'Neill did his first time round at Celtic, and if you were young enough and good enough, you got your chance. It was as simple as that. If you're young enough and good enough, you'll get your chance with Martin O'Neill. And it's something that Brendan Rodgers, he never really did he? He was kind of, he'll go with the tried and tested. Hatate needed dropped. KT wasn't good at going forward. Yeah, Hatate did need dropped. And I'm glad someone's had the balls to. It's a big set of colonies by Martin O'Neill, really, isn't it? And you've got to say, he's been playing shite. He maybe needs a couple of weeks. Like, mate, you've been playing fucking crap. You're on the bench. Until you up your game, do you know what? If you're not putting in 110% on the training pitch, you're not getting a game. Simple as that. Stated on Sunday that Tierney looked as if he was injured. 10 minutes to go on. He was rubbing his leg. Have you heard of Heart of Midlothian? Why the fuck would I want to hear about Heart of Midlothian? Who cares about them? I'm just trying to see if there's anything. Martin O'Neill's heat has definitely grown a Honda for Celtic. Woofed. Scarachi and Tenecti, let's see how they play tonight. I mean, I think it's still looking like it's going to be a 4-3-3-ish type of formation. Still no Simpson Poozy though. Now let's see if Trusty can play on the right side. Yeah. This is true because Scales is in the position that Trusty was in. Whoever gets the job permanent, what kind of transfer money do you think you'll get in January? That's a long way off, mate. We just need to get the right kind of manager in. Whomever comes in on as the next Celtic manager will be backed big time financially. They're not going to go out and spend 10 million a player. You know, we are still within our wage bracket, and we're still within a bracket of between 5 and 10 million, upwards of 10 for the odd player that's maybe good enough. That let's just focus on what we have. Let me just jump through these corners. Better balance on the right winger. Not surprised there was too many changes. Bring back Didi Agat. I think we would love to see Didi Agat back. I wonder what he's up to these days. Good looking team. We want to go out and takes me back 20 years ago. Yeah, I mean the subs. It's an attacking sub lineup that we've got. I mean everyone on the bench. That's big, huge. We wanted changes. Big Dan even says that. We wanted changes, didn't get them. Poor show. Well, we did get changes because Hatate's been dropped to the bench. Do you know Hatate's been dropped to the bench? Anybody that's been watching the games recently will say that why the hell is Hatate getting any game time at Celtic at all? Hatate's been absolutely minced. So for Hatate to get dropped is massive. Massive. Hatate would listen if Martin O'Neill hadn't been brought in, and if it was still Brendan, Hatate would be playing tonight. You wouldn't have a midfield of McGregor, Engels, and Benji. Engels would be on the bench, and Hatate would be playing. You know, you'd have Benji on. When you look at going forward, James Forrest has been there and done it. Martin O'Neill trusts him. Sean Maloney trusts him. Do you know, you're looking at players like that can try and make... You've got to play players that you think that can make a difference at the beginning of the game. It's all good. I know, there's thunder. It's all good bringing on the likes of Sean Maloney with 10-15 minutes to go. But recently we've been chasing the game. You want Sean Maloney on, and you can understand why he's done it. You put Sean Maloney, if only. You put James Forrest on. Sean Maloney will have said to Martin O'Neill, look, play James Forrest from the beginning. You'll get more out of James Forrest for 60 minutes than you will getting out of James Forrest for the last 10 minutes of the game. And it's been proven over the last as many games. Not happy, Martin needs to go. How dare you judge Shin so bad? Out. Might be Maloney getting Osman some game time. Yeah, could well be. Marcelo, somebody's changed their YouTube channel name, the Green Messiah. Marcelo and Tenekes link up, superb. They do that. Time for getting game time for Sunday. It could be. Michelle, go and put him on a timeout. I'll do it. Jesus God. I'll just see channel activity. Yeah, Stevie, you just subscribe to the channel to then get hidden. All that for nothing. Got to feel sorry for these fuckers. You really do have to feel sorry for them. I'm going to subscribe to give you Celtic fans abuse. Guess what? We can just take you off the channel altogether, and then you're gone. This isn't a channel that you can get away with that. You won't find a channel where you do get away with it. Anyway, it's a massive team tonight. Massive from Brendan. Fucking Brendan Rodgers. Fucking isn't here anymore. From Martin O'Neill, you just get... I did that with Kyogo left as well. But yeah, the midfield for me, McGregor, Engels and Benji. Nygren. Engels, you've got to start Engels for his ability to set-piece deliver. You know, set-piece delivery. When you think about the corners that he produces, he's way better at corners than what Benji Nygren is. So Johnny Kenny needs to be on the end of one or two deliveries this evening, because if we're going to score, I've been deleting them, Baz. I'm not your mod, you said. So you are Lorna. You are a mod. I forgot all about that. So take the wrench. I forgot you were a mod, Lorna. It's been that while since I've looked at your comments on the channel. I'm joking. It's because I don't look at it on YouTube, and when I look at it on the software I use, it doesn't show you who's the moderator and who's not. But anyway, I've kicked him off the channel. But as I was saying, that Brendan Rodgers is going to be at the game this weekend. Yeah, we've been talking about that. I'm predicting a 4-2 Celtic. 4-2. Tell me what you think the score line will be tonight, with just an hour to go at Celtic Park before kick-off. Fans will start outside the ground just now, starting to protest. They ganging up, you two. Oh, Jesus. He was talking about Rod, not Brendan. Well, there you go. He was talking about Rod. Baz, let's not forget Tony McGlynn was a well-drilled team. Took 7 points in the last few games. Yeah. It's all about what Celtic do tonight. I don't think that it's not a big deal what the other team. I mean, it's always a big deal, but tonight is all about how Celtic play. Tonight's all about how Martin O'Neill can get the best out of these players. Comfortable 3-0 would be good. What I like about this too is the favourites hasn't carried over from Maloney. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about it. I mean, people are saying there isn't as much changes as they would like. What changes would you like? Because Hatate's been dropped. Brendan was still here. Hatate would start tonight. Forrest wouldn't start tonight. There's one noticeable person missing from the bench. Mikel Ange is missing from the bench. No, he's not. He's on the bench. So Bill Wisher's on the bench. Dyson Maeda's on the bench. Oh, there it's there. Sinisalo's on the bench as expected. McCowan, Osman. I mean, who's going to come on the second half? I think that Maeda may come on in the second half to get him some game time. And maybe that's why Sean Maloney's starting the game, so that it gives Dyson. I mean, Tenecte may come off for Dyson, but we'll wait and see. We'll see how the game pans out. But anyway, 3-0 comfortable victory would do. Don't know why I'm feeling good. Martin was going to play Trusty. Good on him. Imagine Brenda turning up at Hampden. Who cares? If he turns up at Hampden, let's just hope. There's two ways. I don't even want to talk about it, to be honest, because I think that whatever happened in the meeting on Monday and it ended the way that it did. Do you know, it's time to move on. And if he's going to come back and spit the dummy out and say, I'll fucking tell you this, well, you should have told us more when you were manager, mate. And to be fair, I mean, a lot of people, he's getting sympathy for the ridiculous statement from Dermot Desmond, but there has to be some kind of truth in it. You can't be putting out signed statements like that. Who gives a fuck? It's over and done with. We're looking forward to a new manager. Brendan's in the past, whether we like it or not. And people will say, you were backing Brendan. Of course, I back every Celtic manager until they're not the Celtic manager. I backed Ronnie Dyler till the last day. I was going to games when Ronnie Dyler was here. The wife says 4-0, says James Gunn. Who really cares? Says 3-1 to the Hoops. 6 to Celtic, 2 to Falkirk. Oh, if only. Could you imagine if that happened? 3-0 says Connell. Stephen Schultz says 4-1. 7-0 the Celts. Do we have 7 goals in them? In us? Do we have 7 goals in us this evening? That's the difficult one, because we've not been. We do when you see the bench. I mean, McGregor's got goals now from distance. It'll be interesting to see how Martin O'Neill. Now, this is a big game, because Falkirk will go and sit at the back, right? They'll go and sit 5-6 at the back. How does Martin O'Neill overcome that? Because it's a question that we've been speaking about quite a lot of times. Martin O'Neill never had to deal with a low block. as his time at manager. Do you know, when you look at all the Celtic goals, they were in attack, they were up the wing, you know, Sutton, Thompson, Larsson, goal, fast attacking football. How does Martin O'Neill deal with the low block? Going to be an interesting one. We're going to get that question finally answered. It's one that we spoke about on this channel because Martin O'Neill never had to deal with it. Now he does. Kenny will get a chance tonight. He must put them away. Yep, he must that. I would settle for a 1-0 winner, bouncing off the rest. In the last minute. He wouldn't give it. If the ball was to bounce off the ref's arse, he wouldn't give it. He would say that it had to be a dropped ball. Marcelo and 10 Ekis to score tonight. Link up would be amazing, says the Green Messiah. Feel sorry for Maeda. Hope he gets on and scores. He's not starting. See the central prawn and the Daily Record. Brendan followed in the summer. Who cares? It's in the past. We need to move on. Celtic 3. Guitar Man says it's going to be 3-0 to Celtic. Saw that Brazil McCoist on TalkSport sent messages to Brendan. He's not happy. He fucking walked, so fucking who cares if he's not happy? He's old news. He's yesterday's chip paper. He's not even today's chip paper. You know, he's yesterday's chip paper, and that's it. He's now irrelevant when it comes to Celtic. He's irrelevant as the day that he walked. The last time that he walked out of Celtic, we moved on pretty quick. This time, we move on just as quick. And if you don't like my attitude with it, it's just that's the way it is. We move on. Do you know? Fuck him and fuck the rest of them that walked out. We are still here. Celtic fans will always still be here. We are still here. We'll be here after Martin O'Neill. We'll be here after Sean Maloney. Do you know? We'll still be here. Managers come and go. Who cares? Let's just make sure that they win when they're here. Glasgow's Green and White's going for 2-1. Must win. See if we can get a tune out of these players. O'Neill can. I think there's going to be a good bounce back. You always get a reaction from players. I'm going to say again, Maeda wasn't injured. He spat the dummy out with Brendan. I think so as well. I agree with that one, mate. I totally agree with that. I also agree with no Reggie Blinker. Baffles me. It's mad. But no, I think that Dyson had been working his ticket with Brendan, and I think that there was no love lost between Brendan and. But anyway, Shin is the miss for the bench. Who do you drop off the bench? Because if you're wanting to try and dominate the midfield in the wings, you've got to have Balwishka on. You've got to have McCown, Osmond. That's the big one for me. But you've got to give it to Martin O'Neill. Martin O'Neill, 20 odd years ago, brought on a young Sean Maloney. Who can remember Sean Maloney's first game? And who can remember the palaver when there was a penalty against Hearts of all team? And Sean Maloney, and who else was it? There was Sean Maloney and someone else fighting out for to take the penalty. And Martin O'Neill loved it. He loved the enthusiasm that the younger players give the squad. He loved the excitement that the younger players gave to the older players. Martin O'Neill says this: we need a team of men. We don't have a team of men. But at the same time as Martin O'Neill had a team of men in his grasp, he had the ability to bring through youngsters from the academy and slip them into an aggressive, winning team at Celtic, and he made them into decent players. If Martin O'Neill's only here for a month or so, but gives young Callum Osmond the confidence that he needs to grow and become a phenomenal Celtic striker, and the same with Johnny Kenny. Johnny Kenny's just a young guy. Johnny Kenny is younger than Arnie Engels, I believe. Or no, Arnie Engels is younger, isn't he? Arnie Engels is a year younger than Johnny Kenny, apologies. And when you look at it that way, do you know Arnie Engels is younger than Johnny Kenny? Arnie Engels cost 11 million. And people will say, well, he's fucking not worth it. Johnny Kenny cost us hundreds of thousands. And if he can make a difference. If Martin O'Neill can turn Johnny Kenny into the formidable striker that Brendan Rodgers said that he was, I'm all up for it. Not American football, we play Blaz, play kickers. Why no KT? Could be that there may be a slight injury. I'm sure that Celtic TV beforehand, Martin O'Neill may tell us. Strange ones, oddsman on the bench instead of Yamada. Depends what they were doing on the training pitch. Do you know, you've got people that have come in today, full day training with the players, and they'll be looking about to see who's fucking stand out. And if young Osman's went, fucking Martin O'Neill, I'm going for it. Do you know, if Shin Yamada's went, who's this old guy? Do you know, and he's not putting in 110%. You've got Mark Fotheringham and everybody watching him and going, fucking, what are you fucking doing? Get your fucking arse together. Do you know, and that's probably the exact words that would come out of Mark Fotheringham's mouth. You're fucking shite. You're not getting in my team. But anyway, could be as simple as that. Could be as simple as what they've seen on the training pitch the last couple of days. Players whose heads have went down and they've went, oh, fuck. The staff notice that. Players who say, this is my time to shine. There's always a time when I change a manager, when the players get a buzz and they go, there's no favourites now. It's a clean sheet. You know, that team sheet, there's no any favourites on the team sheet now. Everyone's on a clean slate. And players that get that mindset quick, get into that mindset quick and go, do you know what, I'm fucking going to go for it in training today because I want to really make a fucking influence on this new manager. He might only be here for a couple of weeks, but if I can make an influence on him and he gets me into the team, when the next guy comes in, you know, he gets the handover details for Martin O'Neill. And this guy's a little bit fucking, he's a little fancy player, you know, he's been overlooked by the previous, you know, give him his chance, trust me. I trust Martin O'Neill more than I trust Brendan Rodgers any day of the week. As much as I would back Brendan Rodgers, and I have done over the last 2.5 years, I would definitely trust Martin O'Neill way more. Be decent if Kenny takes one of his chances. Yep, would be that. No Bobby Petty either. I know, it's disappointing, isn't it? Is that 4-3-3 or is it 4-2-3-1 with Benji as number 10 and Engels as a double pivot? That's an interesting one. We'll find out pretty much when the game starts, I think. KT needed the rest. Yeah. I think it's all about just managing the game time. No Shin says... welcome to Elizabeth. Welcome to the channel membership. Cannon Fodder says it's going to be 2-1 to Celtic. Do you think the Maida just pulled a sticky one and wasn't actually injured? Yes, James. I said that weeks ago. I said it before the international break, if Dyson if he's got any type of hamstring injury, he goes for a scan. And this is where it started things weren't adding up. Because Celtic come out and tell you, he's going for a scan in the morning, and then we'll find out. Manager always says that. As soon as it's a hamstring, his player's going for a scan in the morning, we'll find out. And then we'll take it from there. Never happened. He went away on international duty. There could have been a little tightening of a hamstring, but nothing too serious. So it was thought, right, we're not going to risk him. Didn't play the international games. He didn't come straight back to Celtic either. He stayed in Japan. And then when he comes back from Japan, my fucking back, I've done the back end. Injuries that can't really be seen on any type of scan. So then you've got to ask, is he feigning injury? And I think yes. Would a player of his standard do it? Yes. If he's pissed off with Brendan Rodgers, if Brendan Rodgers has been telling him one thing and then doing another, of course you're going to go, fucking fuck you. Whatever that is. Forrest first goal scorer. Rodgers is a snake. You've got Maloney on the brain bars. Yeah, I do. It's just one of these things. What a statement putting Osman on the bench and benching Hatate. Of course it is. It's a massive statement. It's basically saying, Brendan, you were fucking doing it wrong. You know, and it's like I said, it's a clean sheet. There's no starters here. Yes, I'm doing a watch along. It's all set up already. So we are doing a watch along. Baz can't read or see everyone's comments for people complaining. Yeah, they go really fast, so I don't see everyone's comments. They ain't being rude, they're just choosing females. I've not just been choosing females. Stephen Shaw goes for 1-1 or 2-1. Baz, you need to stop saying Sean Maloney. Sean Maloney, Sean Maloney, Sean Maloney. Fucking Sean Maloney! Yes! Scores! That light's too bright, innit? It's fucking making me look like I've got a heavy fucking sunburn. I need to go and change my top. Ralston out for a gat. Yeah, I would have taken Ralston out for a gat. Ralston back, why? Because young Colby Donovan got slated after the game. Slated at the weekend. Colby Donovan got ripped a new one at the weekend by people online. And it maybe got to him. Do you know, it maybe just take... Sometimes when you bring in young players, and Martin O'Neill was clever at this. Martin O'Neill's very clever. And Martin O'Neill did this loads of times when he was here the first time. If a young player comes in and he makes one or two mistakes and he's not... You take him back out. Because you don't want to put him in again and put him under pressure. So what Martin O'Neill did when he was here the first time is he'd bring players in. They didn't play every single game. They weren't on the bench every single game. Or they might have been on the bench, but they didn't get game time every single game. So you bring them in slowly. Brendan Rodgers never done that. Brendan Rodgers wasn't a believer of bringing in the young boys for the last 10-15 minutes of the game. Give them a chance. Do you know, bring them on with 20 minutes to go if you're 3-0 up, which we were plenty of times last season. It was last season when there was numerous occasions last season where you could have given youth a chance. And Brendan Rodgers never done that. Now we've got a manager that does. People are saying, why the fuck's Ralston playing? Fuck's sake of shite. You called her earlier with the rest of the video, but Rodgers is done. Yeah. I mean, I reposted that video on Twitter. And everything that he says... everything that he said at Leicester in his last press conference was pretty much word for word what he said at his last press conference at Celtic. The man knows. He knows the game and he knows when he's wanting his ticket. Big Des says, Baz, before you go, have you heard of farts on Midlothian? Farts, big smelly farts. Down in Tynecastle they play. Martin O'Neill shows that Brendan Rodgers is spin doctor. Don't see my playing tonight. He'll be saved for the Huns at Hampden. Nah, he needs to play. He needs to get some game time. Tam Mac. Brendan Rodgers gone. You're right, Baz. It's time to move on. Yep, it is that. You might as well be a Hun calling him Brenda. Who called him Brenda? I never called him Brenda. Brenda? Yeah, hopefully we don't... where are the goals coming from? Hopefully our striker. The Bruges manager's name's popped up. Yeah, I spoke about him at the beginning of the video. The Bruges manager has popped up. Nicky Hayen. 45-year-old. He just penned a new contract in June, but he has also been open to an international adventure, he says. He's thinking about getting out of Belgium. Do we want a Belgian waffle at the club? He's insisted that he's focused on winning the title with Bruges. I'm not thinking about it just now. Everyone knows that I'm happy here. I want stability above all else. I've played for quite a few clubs. I have the ultimate goal, of course, to be able to step up and step abroad at some point. For me, that crosses them out. And all eyes are now looking at Kieran McKenna. We've got a bit of time. Kieran McKenna would be open to becoming Celtic's next permanent manager, according to reports down south. The Ipswich Town manager has emerged as a leading contender to replace Brendan Rodgers, who handed in his... Who gives a fuck? McKenna, who guided Ipswich to consecutive promotions from League One to the Premier League. Who does that remind you of? Who does it remind you of? Because Martin O'Neill did something similar with Leicester back in the day. He got them promoted and he got them to he won the FA Cup, didn't he? And it was that caught the eye of the Celtic hierarchy. There's a bit of similarities between Kieran McKenna and the very young Martin O'Neill. And it does look like that McKenna could be the man that Celtic are ultimately placing all bets on. So don't be surprised if this gentleman is, he looks like a Celtic manager. Do you know what I mean? But the good thing is, do you know, there's one thing that we've never spoken about. The good thing is we as a club do not have people saying no and counting themselves out of the race. Maybe my face is red all the time because of the way the light is, Hugh. Just saying. Who's up front? Johnny Kenny. Would nice to score first. It would be excellent to score first tonight. Derek Rook says, how you doing, Paul Baird? Secretly broken that Brendan is gone. At least Paul has got his way. Paul has been an advocate of getting Brendan Rodgers out of the club for the last 2.5 years. So he's a happy person, I think. Struggle to score 2, level on 6 or 7, says Mr. Squeaky. Boff. You think so? He said he was the manager most of spin and garbage. Yeah. Wingers that hit the byline. Well, that's what Martin O'Neill was always good for, getting the ball in early. Martin O'Neill will want to make sure that his team does something similar tonight. And that's why Johnny Kenny starts. Because Johnny Kenny's got that bit of pace for going forward. He will be wanting Tenecti to get the ball in quick. He wants James Forrest to get the ball in quick into Johnny Kenny's feet. Because, do you know, what a statement, benching the Japanese boys and giving Osman a sniff. I think so as well. I'm just going to jump into some of these comments whilst we still got some time to go. Fantastic response to people on tonight. Remember, we are doing a watch along tonight also. So if you are watching the Celtic game, make sure that you jump on here and we can talk about hopefully an exciting game for Celtic. I'm really looking forward to it. And it doesn't always work out. Well, it has, hasn't it? I mean, it worked out when Rodgers came back. Let's hope that we can hit the ground running. Why on earth would the Bruges manager come here? Lol, it's stupid. Bombard the box like the old times. Yep. That's what I think. Low block was just men behind the ball. Joe saying he used to beat it 5-0. Martin Disbaz, low block was Rangers. That's a cracker. Martin did beat the low block. It was the Rangers fans' IQ. Typhoon McFluster, in the house. He's going for a 1-0 win with this weakened squad. Paul's going for 3-1. It could be the fact that a certain player that plays left back could be just getting kept for the weekend. James, Falkirk pumped Dundee the other day. Looking forward to the ball getting forward a lot quicker. I think that we're all looking forward. Tonight, instead of 1,100 passes, shoot. It's old school thinking. I think so. I think those are all. Big Des says that this is the beginning of the break of ties with the Japanese league. Do you think so? It depends what the new manager wants. Do you know, if this guy is to be the next Celtic manager, if McKenna is to be the next manager, he will have his own ideas, his own players, his own thinking in the way that Celtic should play. He knows that Celtic is a team that should be playing fast attacking football. Can he bring to Celtic a style and standard of football that is fitting of the club? Just going to disappear. Oh, geez, fucking about with things in the life. And there's 1,000 folk on. But anyway, Let's jump through some more of these. Don't care about the score, just win. I want to see attacking football. Kenny Stark's crazy. No difference from Rodgers picking his buddies. Well, there is, because Hatate's on the bench. And Shin Yamada's nowhere near the bench. If Brendan Rodgers was here, you could definitely say that a certain Japanese player would be playing tonight. And I think it's good that he's not, perfectly honest, because a lot of us, people have been saying on social media for long enough, what is Brendan Rodgers watching and what does Brendan Rodgers see that we do not? Because we've all said it for weeks and weeks and weeks. The first half of a game, 45 minutes of a game, Hatate gives the ball away too many times. His passes are slack. He's all over the place, and running into positions where he shouldn't be. And you're thinking, what the fuck is he doing? Is he doing this on purpose? And then when he gets dropped, people are saying, it's crazy. Johnny Kenny starts, no difference. But Falkirk are second half team. We need goals in the first half. Well, we've got a manager who does like to get early goals and who does like to get... can't wait to see Martin in his tracksuit. I think he's grown since then. I don't think that a 73-year-old geezer kicking about in a trackie at the sidelines of Celtic Park is going to be a look tonight for some reason. I think that when you seen Martin O'Neill coming out the car at Celtic Park, he was carrying a suit bag. So I think that Martin O'Neill will be wearing his best tracksuit tonight. Rather than the tracksuit of 25 years ago. I just can't see him coming out like a 1990s casual. 5-9 the night. Calmac, Tenecti, Forrest 2, Engels. Yeah, Tenecti 2, Forrest and Engels. That could be a possibility tonight. Calmac played out his skin the first half of the game at the weekend. And then something happened at half time. I'm not buying it that it was because he was man-marked the whole of the game in the second half. I mean, something happened in the team talk at half-time. But anyway, who cares? Weekend squad, for fuck's sake. Most of their bench warmers will be starting another team's squad. Stop talking. Yeah, I don't know who put that comment up, but we're champions for a reason. Yeah, we should be winning this, and we are champions for a reason. And anybody that's bemoaning the bench... You've got Bernardo on the bench, cost us $3.5 million. We should have paid 6. Dyson Maeda on the bench, good money. Rio Hatate on the bench, good money. Bill Wishka brought in for a lot of money. McCowan brought in for £1 million. There's good money on the bench. There's good players on the bench. McCowan could come on and make a difference. There's so many players that give you a bit more in the attacking front. When it comes to defence, we're in panic stations. When it comes to the defence at the moment at Celtic, we're all over the place. Do you know, this is like a few years ago when we spent £7 million on 2 defenders and never played them. Well, we did. We played one and then we got rid of him because the ex-manager said he wasn't good enough. We'd love a chippy, no had one in ages, said Mikey Boy. Scotty Arfield, Scott Brace, 2-1 to Falkirk. Not a chance. Baz, how close was his Leicester interview? It was really close. Jesus. Stephen Robinson for the next Celtic manager. Hi Scott, how you doing? It's going to be an interesting game tonight. You're on your way to the game. 23 years ago this Halloween I was behind the goal watching the news from as soon as it was Blackburn. Yeah. They were good times. And you've got to remember that. But it was a different team. Let's not put any comparison to what Martin O'Neill achieved back then. Martin O'Neill was only spending 5-6 million. In today's money, that 5-6 million would be 15 to 20 million. Yeah, I get that. But Celtic's, the thing is Celtic's money hasn't increased like inflation. The money that we get in as a club, season tickets haven't tripled. Some say they might have, but do you know, players' wages have definitely went up. And about says, love you, second to say he's old news. We're still loyal to Celtic. Exactly. Do you know, Brendan Rodgers is old. He's yesterday's chip shop paper. He's not even yesterday's. He is yesterday's. Martin, as a motivator, will be 3-0 up by half time. He is, isn't he? He's the man that can get. Maloney's the tactician in this little love relationship that we've got going on just now. Maloney's the guy that's going to say to Martin, nah, that's not going to work in this day and age. You've got to remember that Sean Maloney was a number 2 to an international manager, and they were a wee bit successful at that time. You know, they were a good team. Maloney's no mug. Maloney's no motivator, and this is what's been good by Celtic. Celtic know that Maloney's not really a Mr. Motivator. He's not going to get the best out of the players. But when Martin O'Neill walks into the room, do you know, when you've got that nut job following him, barking fucking stuff at you, you're like, what the fuck is he saying? Could you imagine the Japanese players following him going nuts, going absolutely bonkers on the training pitch? What the fuck are you doing, man? What the fucking hell's he saying? They're like the translators like that. But anyway, it's hearsay that the Japanese manager said he was injured. Well, James Forrest to score 1-0 to Celtic. Martin O'Neill apparently just a few weeks ago. Just to think it would never happen if Benji had put his boot through the chance at Tynecastle. He's got a lot to make up for, by the way. It may have been the case that if we had won the game at Tynecastle, we might not have changed managers. It was coming to a head. And let's move on. It's old news. It's fucking old news. We look forward. See, back in the 1990s, Celtic fans used to always sing, like, we always look on the bright side of life. And it's something that we need to get back into the club. We need to look on the bright side of life. Yes, Dermot Desmond is still here. Yes, the boardroom are still there. Yes, there's still going to be an ongoing campaign to get rid of them. But let's fucking get back to enjoying football. Let's get back to backing the team. Let's get back to being excited about watching Celtic. Because it's something that we've not had for a long time. When was the last time that you looked at a team sheet and went, oh, fuck it. Hey, fucking, there's going to be another great game. For weeks and months we've heard, oh, fucking great. More side to side, passing, pish. You're not going to get that tonight. Not a chance. You're not going to get that over the next few weeks. Kenny had his chance for the last few weeks. He's not really been getting the right service. So let's see with a different kind of service if it makes a difference. Maloney goal against Rangers was a belter. Yep. Yes, Baz, mate, too right. Positive vibes, 4 or 5-0 tonight. I think so. I think it's the only way forward. I think that as a fan base, although we've not been in dire straits, as a fan base, you know, we've not been playing the football that we want. Until recently, we weren't that far behind in the league. We fell behind in the league. There was obviously a lot going on at Celtic Park that we're never going to find out the truth about. There was obviously stuff going on with the players and managers that didn't sit right with a lot of the players. There was players coming out and publicly backing the manager and saying that we need better. What would you do what would you do if you went into work tomorrow and your work colleagues and your boss are going, you're fucking shite at your job, mate. You need to up your work. Who the fuck are you talking to? Fuck off. That's what your responses be. I think a lot of the players would have the exact same response. And I think that a new man coming in, a new buzz, Hatate getting dropped. It would just be like Hatate to come on tonight and score an absolute screamer. Didn't Moravcik take Maloney free kicks? Don't know. Maybe it did. God, that is fucking pissing down outside. Surprised you can't hear that. Cheers, Joe. He says, spot on, Baz. Yamada? Nope, Yamada's not made the bench. I will show the people that have come in late that want to see the people on the bench. I mean, there's your subs. Sinisalo, Belwushka, McCowan, Osman, Bernardo, Dice, Maida, Hatate, Murray, Donovan. Fuck me. That is fucking unreal. But yeah, I mean, that's an attack. That's a really attacking. I hope Bernardo gets some game time. I hope Paulo Bernardo gets on today before Rio Hatate, because that's a statement of intent from the manager. That's a big statement of intent from the manager. I'll just take that down a bit. Put it there so that it's got Schmeichel. Give Schmeichel his place within the team. I know it's thunder. It's chucking it down, eh? That's fucking flood material outside. I want sexy football tonight. I think we all want sexy football. Don't know where the goals are coming from. Johnny Kenny isn't the answer. Martin O'Neill trusts younger players, and he's turned around the fortunes of quite a few younger players as a manager before. So I think that if there's anyone that can change players' attitudes, that can change players going forward, that can give them that something, that extra 2 yards, as they say in football terms, there's one guy that can do it, and it's Martin O'Neill. Two Stephen Robinsons. Yamada not on the team. No, he's not. Mr. Wim the Tim. Seth got a penalty tonight. Be great if Osman came on and scored. It would be great to see just Osman getting some game time to see what he's got, because I'm going to say I wasn't overly impressed with Shin Yamada when he came on. I don't think that he offered too much different to Celtic. I don't know why. They're basically the same age. Engels is 3 months younger than Johnny Kenny. And there you go. But the difference is Arnie Engels has been playing at a higher level. Johnny Kenny, no disrespect to the League of Ireland, but Johnny Kenny was pumped out to the League of Ireland and expected to be a £10 million player coming through the League of Ireland. It's never going to work. We spoke about this before. I mean, I think that the way that Celtic put out players to these lower leagues is not the answer. I mean, remember when we were putting out players to Admiral Wacker? Why? What experience are they going to get playing in the fucking Austrian league? How is it going to make them better? How is it going to make them the superstars of tomorrow playing for Celtic? It's not. Maloney scissor kick volley versus Dunfermline. We're bringing out all the old goals, aren't we? Right, I'm going to jump through the comments. Apologies if I haven't read. In my opinion, fans need to take KT tinted specs off. Yes, he was superb back in the day. Grew up a Tim, but he's rank rotten. Oof, says the Green Messiah. Oh, interesting. Osman only starts because of Maloney. It has to be a good thing then, isn't it? It's what Sean. You've got to remember that Sean Maloney is up at Lennoxtown every day. Sean Maloney watches what's going on, has been watching what's been going on in training. Do you know, give the guy his due. Bobo Luton Brand, Tierney Tinders, right? Apologies, I'm going to jump right through the comments because I'm going to go and get ready for the live. People talking about fish stubbers. Baz Maloney picked the team, not Martin. He's just getting a look at the players tonight. Well, no, he said that Martin O'Neill had the final say. Sean Maloney said that. He says, I'll give Martin a breakdown of what we've seen in training the last 2 days, and then we'll go from there. Martin O'Neill could turn Stan Petrov in from Arnie Engels. Could he turn Arnie Engels into Stan Petrov? Yes, he could. You never know. Anyway, Yamada hadn't had enough match time to make a judgment yet. Yeah, but when he comes on, when he's came on, there obviously has to be some kind of attitude problem at training. That's all you can judge it on. We can sit here all we want, and we could sit here and criticise the players that come on tonight. We can criticise the team. We can criticise the manager. But at the end of the day, none of us are football managers. None of us have spent 8 hours a day on the training pitch. None of us have went through training courses to be in football management. We're fans, and fans get to have their say, and this is why this is called the One Celtic Fans View. As Square Sausage Mix says, tonight we need to get into them. Just leave it at that. Right, I'll see you in roughly around about 15 minutes time, well, before that probably, for the watch along. If you want to join us, make sure that you join me on that. Have a fantastic evening, Celtic fans, wherever you are, all around the world. Let's fucking do this. Come on.